Hello and welcome to, or welcome back to the channel about the Nasdaq scalping bot. It's a Python bot that I use to create to make money, I hope, with the Nasdaq. And this series is about the creation of the bot, but I also show on this channel what I'm doing with the bot, so the results, the changes, etc. Today we're going to continue with the bot as the creation, and today we're going to look at how we're going to make the bot do its job on the market. So join in. In the last video, we ended in the main pie. We did a run, and we're going to see if the run is still active. When it's good, there it is. We see a bot with the main screen with several positions on it. I showed it in the first two videos. You can look back to how this is created. And the starting button will be active if good. Yeah. Oh, we got an error. During cannot request. Oh, there's a requesting error. Let's see what's going on. With the connection. Oh, quit resource. Let's figure this out, and I will be back when I know what it is. And I found it out. I looked at the original because I have the original, so I thought, what's wrong? The code is correct. But the code is correct, but indentation isn't. In the last video, I showed you how important it is to use indentation in Python. You have to stand in for each new if and else function and accept and try in a while. You also need to jump in a bit. And I did that to demonstrate it to you, but while demonstrating, I killed my own program. So if payload is this one is okay, then I need to get back with the headers to that one. Then we have the if status return is 200 with a return and an else, and then the print request, and then if retry else and return none, this should jump in more that way. Then we have the exception. The exception is part of the try. That's good. Now the print, if retry. Okay. This should fix the problem. We're going to test, but I think that is it. So we're going to start. I made it a print loop, create session, print, create session to see if it's the problem was in the new session or in the account information. And it was neither, not the new session, not account information. The problem was in the request itself. So running, see if it's working now. Press start, create session, and no errors this time. Yeah. Okay. Quit. And so that problem is solved. Now we can go on with the program. We want to do, what did we want to do? We have information about your details. We have the starting balance. We need the starting balance. You get a lot of information from your account. Maybe I can show you. Print account information. So running this one. There it is. You see account information, your account ID, testing, and your test is my test environment. So it's the demo environment. The status enabled. Account type, the preferences, false, balance, 685. Yes, I dropped in the last week a lot while testing. Deposit, profit lost, available, currency, UND, etc. So there's a lot of information about your account in the account details. And what I need, what I not what I need, but what I want to have is the balance. I want to have the balance. So now I can check what the balance is when I started with the bot versus what the balance is if the bot's ending or during the working of the bot. Then I can see how much profit I make or how much losses might be. So it's the balance. Well, this is a list. It's not a library. It's a library. Yes, it's a library with a list. Oh, wow. So you see, account ID, account name, your test status enabled. What I need is this, the balance. The balance is a part of this balance. And that's what I'm looking at. So from the accounts, looking here, this is the part with accounts. This is accounts. It's a nested array. So from the accounts, I need the balance part. You see, from the account, I need the balance part. There was only one nesting, so the 0 is the only option that there is. I want the balance, and from the balance, I need the balance. So you see, accounts, balance, balance. And then I needed to round it down to 2. And it amazed me that I needed to round it down because you see the balance is already at 2 decimals. But if I don't round it down, it will end up with 5, 6, or 7 even decimals, and I only need 2. So that's what I'm doing. Then I get the daytime, see what date it is, and so I fetch also the starting date time. That's what I need in the main window. We're going to look at the main window. Print account information, no matter needed. Delete those. Back to the usual. You see that I have a last update here, and total profit since start is here. So those two, that's what I'm doing right here. Creating account information with the starting balance and the current date time to get the daytime as it is. Now it's gonna be a loop. So now we need to make it work as a repeating loop. Now, to repeat a loop, we're gonna make it a while. And while true, then everything what happens in this will continue unless there's something of a fault. And there will never be a fault. So this will never ending, continuing with looping until I press escape or kill the program or whatever. So that's while through. And while we're doing this, we're going to do a lot of stuff. I'm going to fetch the code, so be right back. And we're back with the new code. You can see in the while loop, there is now a new section what's been done during the while. And the while contains several actions. First is an array fetch candles insert. So add a new candle to the insert and fetch current market info. So first thing it's going to do is fetch a new candle from the current market. Then it's counting the fetch candles already there. It's the length for now. Later on, we don't want to do this. We're going to do it in a more easier way. But the first time, we're just going to count this. Then if the candle counter is larger than 2, then we're going to set up a contract with the fetch candles, the start balance, and the start date time. And after a certain amount, this time it says 21, but it has to be 30. After 30 counters, 30 candles, the counter will be larger than 30. I'm going to bring the candles back to the last 30. So array fetched candles is array fetched candles, and then semicolon and a column 30. Column 30 means the last 30. of this array. Semicolon. Yeah, it's a column. So I only need the last 30. We have later on, I will show you the EMA 26. You need 26 candles at least, but I don't need 1,000 candles. I don't need more than that. 1,000 candles is easy. You have 60 candles in an hour. So getting 1,000 candles is rather easy to get to. Within a day, you have 1,000 candles, and I don't need 1,000 candles. I only need the last 30. So why save the other one? There's no need for, and it's only cost memory to store those, and you don't do anything with it. It's history. We don't do anything with it. So why store more than 30? Then there's a time sleep 60. This means in 60 seconds, gone in 60 seconds. In 60 seconds, this loop's going to end, and it starts again with fetching the candles, looking for the length of the candles. If it's larger than 2, then set up a contract, and then again count if there's larger than 30, and then bring it back to maximum 30 and sleep again 60 seconds. This is never ending. What we see is that the fetch current market is red underlined, set up a contract is red underlined, and time is red underlined. So 3 things are not correct yet. The easy one is the last one, is the time. That's simply import. So we import time. That's the easy one. And the red underline has vanished. Then the other easy one is fetch current market info. This function we created in the last video. So fetch under that's in the fetch data. There it is, fetch current market info. The function exists, but not reachable from mine. So we need to connect it to the main, and that we're going to do with from fetch data, import the fetch current market info. That's it. So that's the second one. And the third one is set up a contract, and that's not there. So this is the new one. This is what it's all about. Setting up a contract, checking and doing, and should I or shouldn't I open a contract, make or not make money. So that's the new thing we're going to work on. It's the most what we're going to do is working on the contract, and we're going to do this in a separate new file. And I know it's OBS. I know OBS did not show the last thing that I opened in new. That's sadly, so you don't see that I press a new Python file, but you press new Python, give it a name, and the name we're going to give it is contract. Enter, and then OK. And then we have a contract. There it is. It's empty. Of course, it's empty. There's nothing there. So in main Py, we have a contract, and that's it. Okay, so we have set up a contract. Let's do this. We're gonna create, and we're gonna bring it down already. So we're gonna say set up. Oh, again, set up a contract. And we're gonna change pass. Oh, we need to def with F, my friend. Def set up a contract, and for now we choose pass. And if we now go to main, we're gonna add from contract, import, set up a contract. and then the last red underline is also gone. And he says, hey, it's nice that you do this, but the contract has also an array fetch candles parameter and a start balance and a start date time. 3 different items we want to send along to the setup contracts. Not only the candles, but the balance and the start date time. Okay, make it easy. We're gonna copy, go to the contracts and say pause. And then we see that there is room for 3 parameters. All 3 are gray now, grayed out because I don't use them, but this is ready for now. Recap, main, we have print loop, balance, start balance fetched, the date time fetched. Then in the while loop, we're going to fetch the candle. We count the candle. We're going to set up a contract if the candles are larger than 2. And then we're going to trim back the counter to 30, the candles to 30, because we don't need anything else. And then we sleep again for 60 seconds. Then we start over with the while. And then we go to, and now we go to the contracts, and things are getting really interesting now. Good. Let me fetch some code and explain to you what I've done here. And the code is back. The code is there. Let's see what we're doing. We have the pass. We can delete this because the pass is only for an empty function. But now we have the function, and this is the main function that it's all about. You see a lot of red underline stuff, things we need to configure and things we need to create or import, etc. But the first thing I noticed was that I have a current time right here, daytime time, and we have a start daytime time. So I wondered, why do I have this twice? Why do I have a start daytime there and a current time here? The difference, and I looked it up, why I did this current time, daytime time now time, is used to do some calculations in current time. This start date time, when I go back to main, you see this start time is a string for time. With other words, I'm creating something I can see. I actually see the text, date, month, year, hour, minutes, and seconds. That's this start date time for now. And in this version, in the connection, no, in the contracts, I only use the current date time now in time sense. But then again, why? So we're going to move this. This is ridiculous to have this in 2 functions and then send them along in the fetch data. Where in the contract here? Start date time. It's there. We're going to delete that one there. We're going to bring along this one. Control X. And then, oh, what I'm talking about. The now is a daytime now. We also need daytime now. Now, space time. Ooh, okay, well, I bring him along too. Oh, Control X on this side. And then in the contracts, I'm going to pass it in. Then I'm going to see if I have double stuff going on. This is the original. I also delete this one. Start date time. That's not needed. So now daytime now, and I have a daytime now. Current time. This is daytime. This is the daytime. Yeah. Starting daytime. I want to look if I do something extra that is not needed, but it's not. So, okay, we'll leave it. We have the now datetime for the function to show it on screen. So the actual string, the text of the datetime, and we have the current time that we're going to use to calculate. But it's red on the lines, so it means, as usual, import datetime. That's gonna solve a lot of red underlines. And I guess that I don't need this one again in the first. Nope. Oh, from datetime import. Nope. Well, I'm gonna copy and paste this one into here. From datetime import datetime. Then that's a problem less. Okay. This is it. I'm gonna make it all in a comment. So we're gonna going through it as we run along the code, because this is the entire setup for setting up a new contract, and a lot is happening around this code. It's not the only code, it's not the only function we're gonna need, but it's the main setup for everything. So I want to explain it to you what I'm doing here, and for doing that, we are going to do this row by row, and we can see what's going on. For the first time, and for the first, there is a global, and globals, and I like the globals to be on start of the function, so we're going to paste it there. There is a global called session and an array fetched candles, and you already noticed that this array fetched candles is the same as that array fetched candles. So, but we want to globalize it so that it's available outside this function. So the scope, it's called the scope. The scope of this variable should be available outside. So I need the array fetch candles on different places in other functions, and I globalize it instead of sending it over. This is set up a contract. This is a parameter. So main py, I did set up a contract right here. Fetch the candle, so I send it over as a parameter to the contracts, and now it's available here. But I don't want to send fetch candles to each and every function I'm going to create. So I want to keep it global, so it's available for every function I'm going to make. We have this function available, and we have a session, and the session variable, and I'll make it in capital, not necessary, but it's for me, it's capital session. I'm used from the PHP environment to have a session environment, a global one. It's called session, starting with a $sign. And in PHP, that's a global array. You can dump anything in it you want to use anywhere else in your program, and then it's available. But Python does not know anything like this. They have globals and not sessions. So I simply replace the $sign with a capital S, and now I have a global session. So that's why there. So we create the global session, and there's a global array fetched candles, and it's still red on the line because we don't use it anywhere else. Will be, but we'll wait. We'll see it later on. Okay. Let's go for the first line of code to decode. And that is session start date time, and the start date time session is the start date time that we have right here. And now, as I see this, very nice. We transported this one from the main to here, and now we're using it double. We're using it here and there. That's not necessary. So we're going to create this one and pass it right around here into it. Now we don't need this start date time. So now we have a direct connection. The session start date time is now the string date time and is a part of my session global. Yes. Then we have two if functions. We're gonna leave those for now. We're gonna start with making our first candle go so we can have a device. So that's not this one. That is array fetched candles. There he is. Array fetched candles is a fetched candle. Then I need my fetch candle. Where it is. Where is my fetch candle? Oh, I see. Hmm. Why would I have done this? That's the great question. To fill it up? Yeah, to fill it up. Okay. That's why we have the global right here. This is the global, but it's an empty global. So I need to fill it with the fetch candles. And that's why this should have known as fetch candles. That's the right way. We passed on the fetch candles. Those are here. And then we fill the array with the fetch candles. That's why we're going to use it as a global. So we can use it anywhere else. This is the first step in doing so. Then we have a session start balance. We're going to fill the start balance with the start balance we have sent along. And the candle int number of candles plus 1. Of course, the first time it's 0, but during each loop, it will be going up a number. So that's what we're doing. The session int number candles plus 1. It's not doing nothing else and just inform me where how much candles are already passed, and if we're doing a lot of time or not. That's the only reason it is. Those session variables are already here. So later on, I'm going to create session variables that are not created right at that moment, but this session start time is the first time it's going to be used. No, it's the first time that there is a session start time, and already it's been filled with the string of the current time. So I don't need to declare a separate session. Then there is also the session start balance. And again, it's the first time it's going to be used. So we're going to fill it with the start balance directly. And the session for the intro of number of candles, it's the first time we're going to use it. And right away, it's being filled with a variable. So if it doesn't, if we have session variables, we're not going to fill the first time. We need to declare those. Then we need a separate session. But for now, we have a global session. It's available, and that's it. We're not going to do this one for now. Then I'm going to see date time. Something is wrong with date time, and the array fetched candles is also red. I guess it has to do with that there are certain, yeah, the if function, yeah. So this is red because it's in the middle of something and Python does not know why it's there. So the date time, I guess it's still the date time. Add field time to the class date time. Okay. Whoa, that's not happening. Let's see. This is just import from daytime, import daytime. Daytime, import daytime. Okay. Then import daytime. Now, we have, we need. So now we have the now from daytime. So why is he making a hard time? Import daytime. And then it says now it's not a function in daytime, but it is. But it's not red on the line, it's yellow on the line. So, okay. And then we have return red on the line because we are going to send something back, but he doesn't know where or when. So this is still red on the line. We see some arrows. See in the upper left corner also 3 arrows, 1 warning and 3 weak warnings. But those arrows will disappear as we go on with the code. And the next thing we're going to do, that's what I'm looking at, after we have fetched candles, we're going to work on contract advice. So I'm going to activate this one as in contract advice. That's a new function. This is a function that we're going to use to look at if there is enough reason to make a buy or sell contract. And that's what you see right underneath it. There's an if session. For the contract advice, if it is a buy or the session is a sell and not book continue, I want to explain that later on why there's a session book continue. But if there is a buy or a sell advice, then we should do something. I'm going to disable this one again. First, we're going to work on contract advice, and that's a new function. And that is this one, dev contract advice. Underscore advice, semicolon, new line, and that will be our contract advice. So let me fetch the code, and I'll be back in a sec. This is the new code. Let's take a look at it. It's the basic code line. It's not the entire contract advice. It's more advanced than this one. But as promised, I'm going to show you how I build it along the way. So this was the first setting, the first code lines I created to think about how he's going to give me a decent advice. And as you see, I have again the sessions, a session current candle, previous candle, and the oldest candle. And because we have the global session already here, I don't need to globalize it again. It's already globalized for the first time, so I don't need to press again the global, the global session. I don't need to because it's already in global. And then we have 3 candles we're going to work with. My experience in the short time I'm doing this was that you at least needed 3 candles in the same direction to be some kind of confident that you can open a contract in that direction. And based on that assumption, I created the first bot, the first edition 1.0, and now I continue on it because the first bot did make profit, but because of the many coordinates, I need to adjust the lot of work what it bring along with maintaining the code to the newest update of the websites. Now I'm going to do it with the API. So I need to redo it. but I started with this 3. And this is what you see. I have a current candle open. This is from the ARI fetch candles, the latest candle, the latest number. So the newest candle, the top, and this is the open price. There's also a sell, etc. That's what we saw in the fetch data. We have the bid, we have an offer, we have a high and a low. It's all coming back, but the first one, the 0, is the bid, and I need the opening price. Yeah, the bid price, the close price, the high and the low. Every candle, see right here, the first one, the 0, is the bid price, the 1 is the closing price, the 2 is the highest price, and the 3 is the lowest price, but I needed the highest price. So in my contract, I open this. The current candle is the latest candle from the last minute, and that's what I want to do. The opening price. Then the previous candle, of course, is a candle 1 minute ago. That's why you see from the ARI fetch candles, grab the previous one, and then the opening price, and then the oldest candle, that's ARI fetch candle 2. So it's 1 minute further back than the previous, and again the opening price. Those 3 candles, that's the one that I'm working with in this contract advice for now. It will be more elaborate, but this is the starting point. Then to work with it, I found out it's not only getting candles growing, or 3 candles in a row going up, or 3 candles in a row going down, but there also needed to be some space between. So there has actually need to be some progress in the candling. And I do this for this moment. I say it has to be a +2 or a -2 for the candles. So now we're going to see that the previous up candle is the previous candle +2. The oldest up candle is the same as the session oldest candle +2. The previous down candle is the previous candle -2. And the oldest down candle is the session oldest candle -2. So these are all different. +2, +2, -2, -2. Then I created a if function. And the if function says, if the current candle open is bigger than the previous up candle, so the current candle should be bigger than the previous up candle +2. So if we're talking about 20,200, then it should be at least 20,202 for the previous up candle. And the previous up candle should be larger than the oldest up candle. This means again that the previous up candle should be 2 larger than the oldest up. So the total difference between those is eventually 6. 3 candles, and when there's a 6 up, we're going to do it. So it's in the up position. This current candle larger than the previous, and the previous should be larger than the oldest. If so, if this is correct, then give me the session contract advice as a buy. And why am I doing this all in a session with contract advice, etc.? Why not just use a local variable like contract advice and send this back? Because I do this because I need those session variables in my main screen. In the screen update, I want to see what's going on. And to prevent that I need to send a lot of variables to the update of my screen, I just use session variables that I have globalized, and then the global version I can use anywhere I want to. So this is the buy. We also have the sell, and the sell is the opposite of the buy, of course. So if the current candle is smaller than the previous down candle, so it's already less than the previous, and the previous down candle is smaller than the oldest down candle, again -2, then we have 3 candles in a row going down, each one progressively getting lower. Then we have a sell. So we can go back to a sell. And then if there's anything else, so it isn't a buy, it isn't a sell, then we have a hold. The contract advice will be hold, as in wait, not doing anything. Let's wait for the next set of candles. And he's doing this every minute about the test. That's what's happening in the contract advice. And that's what's happening right here. Contract advice, where are you? Start balance. Yeah, that's here. That's what's happening in contract advice. Every fetch candles, start balance, number of candles, and then start with contract advice. Now, do we have another one? And that's this one. If not session, boo, continue. I'm going to activate this. This one is, and then else. Update screen is for the next video. And handle contract not for now. Oh, yeah, okay. Then the else is not there too. Okay, now we're going to disable the else too. Okay, good. Where, yeah, the boo continue. I have a session continue, and it's not declared anywhere at this point, so I need to pre-declare this somewhere else. But what I did was the boo continue. The boolean, it's a boolean. That's why I call it the boo continue. It's a boolean. It's either true or false. And if the boolean continue is false, then there is a contract advice, which means that if there is not a contract already open, so we're going to add this. If there is not a contract already open, then we're gonna boo continue, and then we're gonna give a advice, which means that if there is a contract open, there will be no advice. And that's what we want. We don't need to give an advice if we're waiting on a contract to be positive and to bring us the max sell or the max loss if we are not lucky. So that's why. It's not every time we do this. If not session boo continue, then give me a contract advice. If not, then, and that's what we saw, then we're going to take on the next step. Contract advice. I'm going to leave it here right now. There's a lot of things to do, but we have two new functions, the setup contract and the contract advice. The next video, I want to see how I'm going to expand this, because there's a lot of stuff to cover, but I want to do it in a way that everybody knows what I'm talking about. If you like the video, press like, subscribe if you want to see the more and get some early birds in the new stuff that I'm bringing out. If you want to see me on Twitch and you see me testing and failing, or maybe not failing, then you can follow me on Twitch. I will leave a link in the description, and you can join me in the Discord, and I will also leave you in description in the Discord. I will leave you a link in the description about the Discord. Wow. So I hopefully will see you in the next one. For now, have fun and bye.